Okay. Alrighty. Welcome to the IU Hoops Halftime Report as your Indiana Hoosiers currently down 42-30 to the Minnesota Golden Gophers in a first half that, in so many ways was just all too familiar for IU fans. The Hoosiers again fall down early as Minnesota takes a 21-11 lead at the under 12-minute timeout. The Hoosiers, basically play them even from there, but, again, you dig yourself that hole, and then you just have so much to do to dig yourself back out of it. And, a few things led to the hole. One was some pretty sluggish offense by Indiana. Romeo Langford did not get involved at all early on. Indiana really tried to play through the post, but it was a little bit too much of, trying to get into the post, but not enough movement. And I mean, shoot, assist-wise, Indiana has one assist in the first half, and that tells you all you need to know right there about, just the cohesion and the movement that Indiana is playing offense with. And, unfortunately, a big part of that early run by Minnesota was hitting some tough shots. So Oturu, hits a three at the end of the shot clock. Kalsher banks in a three. Coffee banks in a three. That was 9 of your points right there. And Minnesota, which is one of the worst three-point shooting teams in the country, they're shooting 5 of 8 from downtown. And Indiana is 1 of 9 from downtown. So, the three-point line, again, a big difference for Indiana. Minnesota outscoring Indiana by 12 from the three-point line, and they lead by 12. And that was really a place coming into this game that looked like it was going to be pretty even because neither one of these teams can really shoot. And if Minnesota is shooting as they normally do, it's a tie ball game. I mean, they got the one open three from Kalsher when Al Durham went over the screen instead of chasing him on that baseline screen. That was a defensive breakdown. Other than that, you've had Coffee and Oturu hit those threes. You'll give him that shot. Kalsher banked one in. He hit a tough one over Al Durham. So, to a certain extent, while I don't think the defense has been perfect by any means, and Indiana has given up 1.27 points per possession, I do think this is a case where the defense has been better than what the numbers suggest. Indiana has held Minnesota to only 4 offensive rebounds. They've only given them 5 second chance points. They haven't really gotten beaten in transition a ton, only 1 fast break point for Minnesota. Clearly, there have been some possessions where Jordan Murphy has just gone through Indiana, been tougher, been stronger. Some of those possessions were against guys like Evan Fitzner, where he just is tougher and stronger than him. Morgan, for the most part, has done a nice job defending him without fouling. Juwan picked up that silly second foul at the end of the first half, chasing after an offensive rebound. He just can't get those fouls. But, I like some of the stuff that we're doing defensively. McBrayer has taken some tough shots. We forced Coffee into some tough shots, but they've hit those three. So, now what's going to happen on the other end is, okay, it's not exactly going how you would think. Minnesota doing a little bit more work from the three-point line than you would think. And so Indiana's going to have to be better offensively. And so far, Indiana just hasn't been. I think Al Durham has done some nice things, and did some nice things there late getting to the basket, but he's also played too fast today. He's, taken a couple shots off the dribble that probably aren't great shots, had a couple of turnovers where it's almost like he's going a quarter step too fast and needs to slow down a little bit. And once we started getting Romeo involved, the offense started to pick up a little bit. But again, once Romeo gives up the ball, he's not really moving at all off the ball. And, Juwan Morgan has been okay, has missed a couple of three-pointers where his feet weren't set, has done a decent job down low, really, has done a nice job rebounding. And I thought, he had the most important stretch of the first half. It was, what was the score? Where are my notes here? When it was, I'll get what the score was. It was 28-16. Fitzner missed a three-pointer. Juwan got a great offensive rebound, put it back, goes down on the other end. That was a play where he stood his ground and got the jump ball, which was a great call because his hand was just on the ball on Murphy. Then he passed up a three, had that dribble into the lane, recovered and scored. It was 28-20. Indiana would score, 5 more points on the next 2 possessions. Romeo with the elbow jumper, Devontae with a 3. It's 30-25, and you're feeling like, okay, we weathered some of their shooting. We're right back in this. But then in a really big moment there, Jordan Murphy goes to the other end and scores 5 straight points, and it was just too much standing by us defensively in that stretch. And to me, that's the biggest problem right now with this team is we just stand too much. On offense, we stand too much. There will be one or two guys involved in an action, involved in a ball screen, and no one else is really moving to give the defense something to focus on. Or we throw it into the post, and then four guys just kind of stand around and watch. And the same thing happens defensively, when we're not getting rebounds or we're not getting loose balls or, we do give up some dribble penetration. So, again, I don't think we've played as bad as the score indicates because of some of the shooting that Minnesota has had, which is anomalous, but you're just going to have to take that. We are shooting relatively well from the free throw line. We're getting to the free throw line, but we have to move the ball more. We're a team that needs to be assisting on more field goals. And part of the reason why we're 1 of 9 from three-point range is because the threes that we're getting aren't good shots. They're shots off the dribble by Rob and Al. They're off-balance shots by Juwan or Romeo. And that's not how we're going to make threes and get back into this game. So I think in the second half, the biggest thing that I would be telling the team is we just got to move more. Like, we just have to move our feet and be more active on both ends of the court. I think that'll really help. And I think offensively, we've got to play, more through Romeo, run some more actions for him. And then other guys have to move and do some things off the ball to help free themselves to get some shots. And obviously having De'Ron be able to get back in there, he had 2 fouls, was only able to play 6 minutes. He needs to get back in there, be solid, play through him. He's 4 of 4 from the line, has done some nice things. When we've made threes, especially recently, it's because De'Ron has been assisting on them. So we need him to get back out there and play better. And look, hopefully Minnesota comes back to earth a little bit from the three-point line. And if we can even that out, I think that'll take care of the biggest thing that has gone wrong in the first half. And then, look, it's about movement. It's about toughness. It's about physicality. Right now, they have the toughest, most physical guy on the court in Jordan Murphy. And that's not to say that Juwan isn't playing tough, because I thought he really battled. He's got 10.7 boards, 4 blocks. I mean, that was a really good half from Juwan Morgan. But the problem is, guys like Fitzner, some of the other guys, they have to follow his lead and play that tough. Do they have it in them? I don't know. We're going to see. But those are the things to me that Indiana really needs to clean up here in the second half if they're going to give themselves a chance to be able to come back and win this game. So thank you, everybody, for joining me here on the Halftime Report. Hopefully we have a pleasant post-game show to talk about. A nice big second half run here. Ryan will be here. Chad's going to be joining us again on the post-game show. We look forward to talking with you after the game. Go Hoosiers. Let's find a way to come back. We need this one. Whoops.